So welcome to our online open event. This is really designed for students who are unable to attend one of our actual pop-in sessions. So I'm Professor Brian Millar. I look after dental distance learning here at King's College London, and primarily this session is designed to answer your questions and perhaps help you make a decision as to whether you want to study at King's or not, whether you're interested in distance learning, how it fits into your practice and personal lives, and perhaps help you choose which program is right for you. There's a team of administrators here as well who will be here to answer questions you might have, and I'll of course answer any questions on a more clinical nature as well. So I'm going to just call up a few slides in a moment, and we'll just talk in general about distance learning, what our courses offer. But just to give you some background, we've been running distance learning here at King's for around 22 years, so we're well experienced in it. Initially by post, of course, but more latterly in the last 8 to 10 years it's been online, and we really make full use of the modern technology available to us to offer what we call blended learning programs. Blended learning is a mixture of online content with access to our e-library. You click on a reference, it goes straight into our library system. We use videos and all sorts of media to deliver the latest aspects of dentistry to you wherever you're studying. It can be at home, it can be in your practice, it can be on a portable device, iPads and so on if you want to as well. So really make it accessible to you so that you can study at a time to suit you, at a place to suit you, and of course this makes it more accessible to those of you who are not able to come and study actually in our building here in London itself. We have a range of programs, and I'm sure there's one that suits you perhaps next year, or perhaps it's something you're thinking about in the longer term. One of the reasons nowadays that many dentists take on these programs is that we're increasingly aware that our BDS is not enough to satisfy perhaps the type of dentistry we want to carry out. So if you aspire to a higher level of dentistry for more satisfaction for your patients and perhaps more professional satisfaction yourself, then you're probably putting together a 10-year plan as to the type of dentistry you want to be doing, and a degree such as a master's degree from King's is one way to help you achieve your personal and professional ambitions. So why study at King's? Well, King's is the largest dental institute in Europe and the largest postgraduate dental institute as well. We run a large number of programs, and we've increased in popularity over the years. So I'm just going to start now. I think you've probably had a chance to tune in, and hopefully you can see me and hear what I'm saying, and you are of course experiencing one of our Mecca meeting events, and this is one of the ways that we run our tutorials. So for example, after perhaps a lecture or after an online content session, then you can, if you're not clear about something, come online through a system exactly like this one and see the tutor and ask questions. Okay, so if you just stay where you are, and you'll see some pictures popping up, and we're going to talk about looking ahead, opportunities for you to study in your practice at home with us here at King's College London. Okay. Well, I mentioned to you that we've experienced incredible growth over the years. This is quite interesting at a time when most global economies are showing a downturn. You can see here over the last 8 or so years we've shown growth. What we're showing here is the number of students enrolling on a program each year. Now we started programs in January, so these would be the students starting in January in each of these years, and you can see that really as the internet came along and become what it is to many of us, a quick way of accessing information, you can see that it's really taken off from really 2005 onwards. We've experienced incredible growth, especially in the last 2 or 3 years. So we're currently enrolling about 90 students a year, and I would anticipate our next intake in 2012, January 2012, we'll be looking at somewhere around about 100 students signing on to a program. What do you need to sign on? Well, you will need to have a BDS or equivalent degree. You need to be in practice so you can carry out the clinical work, and you need to have enthusiasm and a desire to learn with us. You'll obviously need to have a computer, and the rest we will tell you about when you look into the programs. Now, these are the programs that we're involved with. Most of these will be running next year. There's a few there that are 2013 start. I want to draw your attention to the popular programs, but of course they're all detailed on our website, which is www.kcl.ac.uk/distance dentistry. But the prettiest way to access them is simply to pop distance dentistry Kings into your search engine, and I'm sure Kings will pop up and you can take it from there. And don't hesitate to email any of our team if you have further questions. Most of these programs you see are MSc. That means 180 European credits at level 7, and that gets you a master's degree in those subjects. There's one there, the MClinDent Prosthodontics, which is a bit larger program. It's twice as many credits, that's 360 credits, because there's simply so much more to teach in prosthodontics. And that's a 4-year program. All the MSCs are 3-year programs. They are flexible programs, and we encourage this. If you find that you can't do an MSc in 3 years because perhaps you're a very busy person, you're running a practice, you're running 3 practices, you've got a young family, and you are just busy, well, you can of course slow the pace down, and as these are modular programs, you could take your MSc over 4 years or 5 years. In the same way, if you become unwell or you have all sorts of issues in your practice to deal with, then you can simply extend the program. So 3 years then for a traditional MSc, 4 years for MClinDent, but flexibility enabling you to fit it into your lifestyle if that's appropriate. If you decide you don't want to complete the program, you've perhaps done 1 year and you've learnt enough, you want to stop, then you can cash in your credits and you'll be able to get a certificate. If you carry out 2 years of an MSc, you would normally have 120 credits, and then you're entitled to a diploma in that subject. And for those of you doing an MClinDent, if that's too much, then you can usually quit early and get an MSc. Okay, but the vast majority of students go on to complete the program. So there we are then. The popular programs at the moment are prosthodontics, and this one, the MSc Aesthetic Dentistry, which is extremely popular. And we're soon going to be launching endodontics, periodontics, and minimal intervention programs. So once you apply online. You have to pay a deposit, and you'll then get your password. When you enter your password into our e-learning system, this is the sort of page you'll get. Here's the front page of the Aesthetic Restorative Practice module, which is in the MSc Aesthetic Dentistry program. And you can see here in year 1 you have a module with some units. Because this is first year, then there's topics such as diagnosis and treatment planning, oral disease, perio-occlusion, assessment of the patient, and critical review of scientific papers. So this is a typical unit with 6 modules in it, which you can work through at your own pace, each one giving you appropriate content for that subject. And here, for example, you can see a restorative topic, and you can see clear diagrams and a description. You can go through any pace you want, and it's all very clear. If there's a reference there, you click on the reference, it'll pull the paper out of the library which you have access to. For some subjects, for example occlusion, which is more complicated to perhaps visualize, these images all are part of a video, so you would click on it and you can rotate these images around. You can open them up watch them again and again so you can see occlusion in a three-dimensional context with the movements built in. A really super way of understanding these subjects, and certainly far better than just trying to read them in the page of a textbook or of a journal. Many of the figures, such as this one here, this is to do with an overlay preparation. You can be looking at these images and working your way through the text, and then if you click on an image, it's a video and it runs through to the next stage. Many of these have been taken by our staff using microscopes, and so effectively you're able to watch the same as I can see down my microscope and observe close up the detail of the clinical procedures we're carrying out. And again, this is a video that you would run, and you can watch me doing a composite on this molar tooth. Following that, you're able to come back and ask us questions through Mega Meeting, as you are experiencing now. You can ask questions as to why we did things the way we did. Now, of course, any dental program requires face-to-face tuition. You can only learn so much online, and therefore we have tutors. Dr. Banji here showing a student, this is at our training center in India, showing a student how to use an index to check the alignment of a preparation. We extensively use our training center here in London, the London Dental Education Centre, where you will have access to the latest state-of-the-art equipment, phantom heads, computer screens, where we train you in your hands-on techniques. And this is for about 8 or 9 days in a block on your program. So it's really one visit to London, and you can have accommodation here and so on, where we'll look after you and we give you hands-on training in the clinical techniques relevant to your program. In January of next year, this facility will also be available in Australia, in Sydney, so you will have a choice for most of the programs to attend either in London here at Lundec or attend Sydney for your residential. You'll have access to programs such as this, where you're able to scan the preparation that you've carried out and compare it to the original tooth, as well as the tutor's version and your previous version. So you can compare, in this case, a full gold crown preparation and see how your preps are developing over time. So as you see then, we're combining online content, Mega Meetings, tutorials, hands-on face-to-face sessions to train you up in advanced clinical techniques. We also support you through a mentoring program, so you will have a clinical mentor who you can contact with clinical problems. So you're a difficult patient, and we will help you best we can with the treatment planning. And you'll also have a supervisor and academic member of staff who will look after you for the more academic aspects of the program and for your report in your final year. Well, if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask. You can ask now in the Mega Meetings session. Just simply press on the microphone button. That means your name lights up in blue on my screen, and then you can ask your question. You can also type the question if you're having any sound problems in the entry panel down at the lower part of your screen, and you type in a question that I will type back an answer to you. You may prefer to email me, and you can email me on brian.miller@kcl.ac.uk, or you can use our website and have a look there for further information, and you can look at taster sessions on our programs. You can also, of course, make an arrangement to pop in and visit me or visit one of our team, and if you know which program you want to find out more about, then I would suggest you contact the program director for that specific program. If on the other hand you're not sure which program is best for you, then feel free to speak to me as director of all the programs,